If I tell you that 62% of homes are selling below asking price, would you immediately think that Arizona housing market is getting worse? Most people would. But what if I also told you that this is almost exactly what happened before COVID? This week, we are going to look at what is the latest national Arizona and Chandler housing market is actually telling us. And by the end of this video, you will understand why today's market isn't behaving like 2021 anymore during COVID, and why that could actually be good news whether you are buying or selling. So let's jump right in. The first data point that I want to show you, the first data chart that I want to show you is a survey from Realtor.com. Homeowners are actually asked, what do you expect to happen when you sell your home? So the result is surprisingly, almost 37% of the people asked say, I'll get more than asking. 46.4% people say, I'll get what I'm asking. 11.9% say, I'll get less. And 4.7% of the people say, I don't know. This means more than 80% of the people who are asked believe they will get asking price or even more. So, in other words, despite all the headlines about inventory increasing, about home sitting longer on the market, sellers are still very confident about the value of their homes. That confidence results something we're seeing across today's market is this. Many sellers are not rushing to lower the price, and that's the reason why you see that the home price doesn't drop dramatically. So instead, they just wait for the right buyer, or in worst case scenario, they cannot sell, they take off the market and rent it out, or maybe even continue living in it, right? So that is the driving reason why the home price doesn't drop. Now, what's the reality? So let's look at the reality. This is what they believe. 80% of the people think that they're gonna get asking or even more. But the reality is a little bit different. This is a chart showing that a percentage of homes that is selling less than the asking price. In here, we have 62% in 2025 of homes that sold below their asking price. At first, that is very alarming. Many people immediately think that home prices must be falling because of 62% of the people cannot sell for what they are asking, what they are expecting, right? But here's the important part. If we go back to 2018, 2019, right? Before the pandemic, 2021, 2022, about the same percentage home being sold below asking. So 2018, we have 62%, 2019, 64%, and today, 62%. And yes, even though it is increasing since 2021 and 2022, but keep in mind this, 2021 and 2022 is a very weird year in which the buyers competing against each other. And they're not only going up 10 or 15, or even sometimes 20 or 40,000. And they have to get rid of all the inspection, all the appraisal and everything to be able to get into the deal, right? That is a very crazy market. But today, this number 62, selling below asking, isn't something new. This is not something new. It's actually how a balanced housing market has worked for years before the pandemic, all right? So what happened in Arizona? This is nationally, right? This is the entire US. What happened in Arizona now? So let's look at the chart. The chart here is a little bit different than the previous chart because this one shows 62% of homes that sell less than asking. This one shows a 14.3% of homes that are selling above the asking price. In other words, there's 86% of the homes sold either at asking or below asking. So if you only compare today's market with 2021, 2022, right, in which we have 60% of homes that is sold above asking price, right? now 14 above asking price. So it seems like a slowdown, right? It seems like a slowdown. But let's zoom out. This chart right here is the same chart, same data point compared to this chart right here, but at the longer time frame. This is when we look at a 20 years period. And if you're looking at the 10 years, the most recent 10 years, 2017, right? Before COVID, right? We have about 10 to 20% of homes selling above asking price. So today, 14.3% fits perfectly within that historical range. That tells us something important, that the market today isn't usually weak. The pandemic market, 2021-2022, was unusually strong. That is a very different conclusion. This is unusual. This right here, usual. What about Chandler? A lot of people was waiting for the Chandler, right? So here's the data. Similar data, similar chart compared to the previous one. This is 13% of homes in Chandler are selling above asking. That is almost identical to Arizona average, a little bit less, right? But for the sellers, this doesn't mean that your home has lost value. It means pricing strategy matters much more than it did during the pandemic. During 2021, 2022, right? Almost any well-presented home could generate multiple offers. Wow, this is a little bit, here's the fact. Almost all houses could generate multiple offers with the right price. Today, buyers they have more choices. Homes priced correctly still sell. Home priced too aggressively may sit longer. So for the buyer, especially first-time home buyers, this is actually encouraging because you are much less likely to get caught in the bidding wars we saw a few years ago and have more time to compare homes. Think about the decision and negotiate with confidence, right? This 13% number here in Chandler show that even though Chandler has a lot of interest to buy, but the home buyer do not pay crazily amount, doesn't pay any amount, right? They still think. In other words, you still have time to think about the decision. So that's a very good signal for those of you who are interested in Chandler market. Talking about what home buying process, I do have a webinar, free webinar for first-time home buyer, especially immigrant first-time home buyer. In this webinar, I am going to talk about the 7 steps of the home buying process. We're talking about selecting the right agents, saving for the down payment, selecting the right loan program so that your family doesn't get caught into a financial nightmare, right? And then we talk about how to select the house when you see the houses in person. Next is how to make the right offer, how to manage the transaction, and how to utilize the house as a tool to build your generational wealth. So if you are interested in attending, it's completely free. I'm more than happy to see you there and explain to you the entire concept. All right, now let's go to the next data point, which is how much time it takes for homes to be sold in this current market. Now the chart right here to tell you, this is all across the United States, across the map, okay? Days, 52 days on the market is how much time it takes on average for homes to be sold in the US in 2026 so far, okay? If you compare to 2021, yes, again, it is slower because 2021 only took 30 days on average. But then if you compare again to 2018, 19, or 17, it's almost exactly the same. Again, today's is another evidence that today's market is very much like the before COVID period rather than the unusual period during COVID timeframe. Okay, let's look at Arizona. Okay, the greater Phoenix, Arizona, the number is about 80 days from listing to close. For buyers, this means for buyers relocating from another state, right? This is actually an advantage because it takes longer time for an Arizona home to be sold, right? So instead of flying into Arizona for every weekend or for every day and feeling pressure to make offer immediately, you can have more time to explore areas like Chandler, Gilbert, Mesa, Green Creek, your neighborhoods, all right? And then collecting all the homes that you want to see in 1 week. And it's still available for you to visit to make the decision to see whether you want to make an offer or not, all right? So buying a home is one of the biggest financial decisions you ever make. Having more time is actually a very good thing, right? So take advantage of this current market right now. Okay, days for homes to be sold in Arizona. What about Chandler? So at the beginning of the year 2026, we have about 60 to 65 days on the market from listing to closing, right? But the latest July data show that it is about 80 days, jump up to 80 days. So it's similar to Arizona average, right? Now, does that mean that Chandler is slowing down by this jump right here? Maybe. We don't know yet, because here's the thing, with only one data point to show, and then this is not the end of the July yet, it's really difficult to conclude this is a higher than normal. Now, if you look at the beginning, January of 2025, we see the same situation, right? It jump up and then it go down again. So you never know. I will continue monitoring this number right here. But overall, for 2026, we can see that on average, Chandler faster than the rest of Arizona. Now there's an unusual signal right here, and we will continue monitoring. So what should you buyers and sellers take away from this week market update? If you are a seller, the key is let's just forget about 2021 and 2022, okay? Just compare the current market with the normal market. And when I talk about normal market, that means before COVID, okay? It also means pricing correctly and preparing for the home well matter more than ever, okay? If you are the buyer, today's market gives you something many buyers during COVID didn't have, okay? Give you time to compare home, time to negotiate, time to make a confident decision instead of rushing into one house and then you will regret about that. The Arizona housing market isn't crashing, period. It's normalizing, all right? Understanding that difference can help you make a much better real estate decision. If you are thinking about buying or selling a home, whether in Chandler or Phoenix or Gilbert or Glendale or Surprise, okay? We'll be more than happy to help you understand what these market trends mean for your specific situation. Leave a comment below with your biggest real estate question, and I will reach out directly to answer your question. And if you found this update helpful, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next week with another Chandler market update. Thank you. Bye-bye.